What if adding a buy now pay later option could significantly increase Lululemon's online sales? In this video, I step into the role of a product analyst at Lululemon to predict how a new installment payment method could impact conversion rates and revenue using Python. Hello, welcome to MED Analyst channel. This is day 8 for the Python Summer Party Challenge. We'll be working with Lululemon on the payment method impact on athleisure online sales. Kindly subscribe to my channel, drop a like, drop a comment. Stay tuned for the rest of the challenge. Let's get right in. Okay, we have our data set here. Now, customer ID, order value, payment method, transaction ID, and transaction dates. Now, let's see. First of all, we need to run this code. Let's run it. Okay. Now, let's wait for the results. It's loading. Good. Our code is run. Now we have question 1. It says between April 1st and June 30th, 2025, what is the count of transactions for each payment method? What is the number of transactions for each payment method? So basically, you're going to group the table by payment method, then do a aggregation of counts for the transaction ID, right? Okay, let's get right in. So question 1, I'm just going to add a quote cylinder. So remember, every first thing we want to do is to convert our dates column to a date time column. Also reassign. Okay, let's convert transaction dates to a date time. So like we always do, we already have our data frame here, FCT stored. So the next thing I want to just reassign so basically I'm going to copy this guy. I'm going to copy this for reference purpose. So PD to date time, right? So I'm going to paste what I copied. So I think that's good to go. So our date time is converted. Now I'm going to filter out date range. Now remember what we did for day 7. I assigned the start dates and an end dates, right? So since we are working with 2025, the start date will be April 1st. So that's 2025. April is the 4th month and the first of it. So our end dates, since we are working towards June 30th, so we are looking at 2025. June is the 6th month, then 31st. So for that June, I could actually add a 0. Now we have assigned our variables. So the next point now is to filter out every data set that is between this date range, right? So I'm going to call it, what should I call it? Let's call it filtered. Filtered data. Okay, this works. Now I'm accessing my FCT transaction table, right? Now I'm having two checks. First of all, I'm going to check. Okay, it sounds like I close that. I'm going to check if this guy is greater than or equal to the start date. Start date, not time. Okay, let me correct that quickly. Good. Then remember to put an and. I'm checking for this and, right? I'm going to open a bracket, space this again. It's less than or equal to end date. Now for this, now I've filtered out my data to this date range. So now I want to count the number of transactions by payment method. So count payments. Or you could actually give it any title you desire. This is just what I could think of for now. So filtered data, already have here, right? Now I want to go by payments method, right? Go by in the brackets. Now you must make sure that your spelling is correct with what we have on the table. So I'll go by payment method. Now this transaction, I want to count the number of unique transaction ID. There's a function called n unique. I get the unique correctly. Something like this. Yeah, n unique. This returns the number of unique. But that's what we're working towards. The number of unique. The number of unique. So I want to reset index. This is optional, but it's best practice. So we've done what we needed to do, counted. Now let's return the count payments, right? Let's see what we have. Okay, now we're getting an error here. Let's see what the error is saying. Invalid comparison. Okay, day is out of range for months. Wow. Oh, this is 30, not 31st. Good. Yes, we have that correctly. So now let me show you one trick. I'm going to rename these two headings right now. The payment method, and I want this to show transaction counts, right? Now let's do that. Very quick trick. So what do? I'll have my counts payments dot columns, right? After doing this, then you now assign. Now we have two columns. All I have to do is just to assign the first. I want to call it payment method, right? The second one call number of transactions. So this is very nice. Let's check it out. Good. Now you see we have it well spelled out. Okay, so we're done with question 1. So question 2 says between April 1st and January 30th, which we already have, what is the average order value for each payment method? Now this is just basically doing the same thing, but rather than having total number of transactions, we're going to have average order value. So I'm just going to copy. Okay, let me copy. I'm going to add a code cell. I already have my filter data. Now, since I already have my filter data that's filtering April 1st to June 30th, so I'm just going to start from calculate the average order value per payment method. So I'm going to call it average order value. Let's call it payment average order value, right? Now I'm going to working with our filtered data, right? Then I'll group by payment method. Then I'll be working with the order value. Spell order value. Let's check it. Order value, right? So order underscore value. Now remember our average is main. Just remember that. And set index. Now, if you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe. We are currently on the 15 days Python summer party challenge. This is a solution. It was organized by Interview Master. So you can check the comment section for the data sets on my GitHub repo, so you can get your hands on it. So let's go on. So after doing this, so basically now we already have the answer already, but I'm just going to rename my headings, the columns like we had. Remember of these columns equal to, so I'm going to have payments method. I'm going to call this average order value, something like this. Yeah, like I said, you could use anything you desire to use. Now let's print our answer. Payments average order value. Good. So we have that done already. So our question 3. Let's check our question 3. So it says between the same data filter data, what would be the predicted sales lift if a pay over time option were introduced? Assume that 20% of credit card transactions during this product would switch to using the pay over time options. And for these switch transactions, the order value is expected to increase by 15% based on the average order value of all credit card transactions in that same time period. Now, it's very key that you understand the question itself. That's where it starts from. You need to understand the question. Now, there are some key things you need to look at from our question. Now, we have already filtered out April 1st to June 30th. Good. Now, we're looking at pay over time, right? We're looking at credit card transactions. That means we have to filter out payment methods, that is credit card. Then we're looking at order value. That's the average order value that's increased 50% based on the average order value of all credit card transactions. So breaking it down, now let's get right in. Create a code cell. So since we already have our filtered data, so the next thing I want to do is to filter out the quarter 2 that we're working with to get out the credit card transaction. To get out the credit card transaction, right? Now there are two ways I can go about it. I could just carry the filter data and add a criteria for payment method credit card, or I could just come over again, pick this, all of this, and add the credit card in the next. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the filtered data. So credit card transaction, let's do like this. So I'm going to do two of them. So let's do filtered data, right? Now I want to accept my filtered data, but the criteria for filtered data where payments method is equal to, remember that double equal to, when you are single equal to, you are assigning a variable. Double equal to, you're checking for quality. Now let's check the spelling for credit card. Let's look for credit card. This debit card, debit. Where's okay? This credit underscore card. Good. Just to double check our spelling, like I always said. Okay, so I think we've gotten this. So it's either you do it this way or you do it this way. So I'm using the sales data. Oh, what's the FCT transaction? Using this, all I'll just do, okay, I'm just basically copy this to save my time. So I paste this, then right here I'll add and right. So FCT transaction, I have my payments method, right, is equal to credit card. Now any of this would work. Very important to know. But for best practice, I'm using the first one. So I'm going to comment out this. We'll come back to check. So we'll check when I'm done. Okay. So also I want to get the total transaction for credit card UCC. So let's make it small letter. So I'm going to access my credit card table, right? That's shape. So this gives me the number of credit card transaction. Now let's return and see. Let's print it out. $25, right? Good. Now let's check out something. Let's check out with this. Still 25, right? So you see any of them will work. So like I said, I'm working with the first one. Remember shapes to get the number of rows, and that's what we've done. So the next thing I'm going to do, I want to calculate the average order value for this credit card transaction. So I'm going to calculate the AOV for CC. So I'm going to call it average CC order value. So credit card transaction. I'm going to access the order value. Right. Then I have the mean, which gives me the average. So I could actually reset index, but I'll leave it like that. So I want to check out transactions that it's better to switch to pay over time, 20%. See that? So let's check it out. So I want to check transactions that is expected to switch to pay over time of 20%. So I'll follow switch trans. So it's basically the total transaction for the credit card, right? Multiplied by 20%. So 20% is basically 0.20. That's 20%, 20 divided by 100. So to now check the expected increase in order value, we're still going to check the expected increase in order value of 15%. So we call it increment order value. So we have our average CCOV multiplied by the 15%, that's 0.15. Now, so our predicted sales now, sales lift, basically, let's call it predicted sales lift, because to the switched transaction multiplied by the increment OV. And let's run this and see. Good. So let's return our predicted sales lifts. This is our predicted sales lift. So now I'm going to print out my results. I will format it, format text. So I've said the predicted sales lift is something like this. Okay, so I'll put the dollar. Now I also want to make it 2 decimal place, just semicolon 2f. I'll put it dot 2f. And remember to close your double quotes. So let's check this out. Sorry, it's not dollar. Good. we are done with the 8. Thank you for watching. Kindly subscribe to my channel, check out the previous videos. So stay tuned for the 9 to the 15. Thank you very much.